Assalamu alaikum students, how are you? If you see in your book on page number 31 there is a unit 5 and this unit is about air. I have also given you this unit in your booklet on page number 86. First topic in this unit is the atmosphere. There is a layer of air all around the earth. It covers the earth like a blanket. This layer of air is called the atmosphere. The atmosphere is more than 1000 kilometers deep. The atmosphere is made up of many gases. It contains nitrogen, oxygen, and carbon dioxide. It also contains dust particles and germs. Now, what is atmosphere? There is a layer of air all around the earth. The earth on which we live, there is a layer of air, and this layer of air has covered the earth like a blanket. This layer of air is called atmosphere. The layer of air which has covered the earth like a blanket is called atmosphere. The atmosphere is more than 1000 kilometers deep. This atmosphere is about 1000 kilometers deep, or its depth is more than 1000 kilometers. This atmosphere is made up of many gases. So this atmosphere is a mixture of many gases. These gases are nitrogen, oxygen, and carbon dioxide. In addition to these gases, there are dust particles and germs in this atmosphere. The oxygen in the atmosphere is used by all living things. It is used for breathing and burning. Carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is used by green plants to make their food. Oxygen is given out by green plants. All living things give out carbon dioxide when they breathe out. Now, as I have told you that this atmosphere has many gases and mainly the oxygen and carbon dioxide, and out of these gases the major part of the atmosphere is covered with oxygen and carbon dioxide. Now you know there are many living things on this earth like animals, human beings, and plants. They are all living things. Now all living things like animals and human beings, they need oxygen for breathing. Also, oxygen gas helps in burning. Carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is used by green plants to make their food. In the same way, plants need carbon dioxide to make their food. So when we breathe, we take in oxygen, and this oxygen is given to us by plants. In the same way, plants need carbon dioxide to make their food, and when we breathe, we take in oxygen and give out carbon dioxide, and this carbon dioxide is used by plants. So this is a cycle. We need oxygen and plants give this oxygen to us. Similarly, plants need carbon dioxide and we give carbon dioxide to plants. All living things give out carbon dioxide when they breathe out. Carbon dioxide is also given out when things burn. When things are burned, during this burning process, oxygen helps in burning, and carbon dioxide, when the burning process is going on, carbon dioxide is given out. We cannot see air, but we feel it. Air is essential for life. Humans, animals, and plants cannot live without it. We all know that we cannot live without air because from air we take oxygen, and this oxygen gas helps in breathing. Similarly, plants also need carbon dioxide to prepare their food. So, and without food they cannot live. So, we all cannot live without air. In summer, the air is warm. In winter, the air is cold. In the rainy season, the air contains a lot of water vapor. On a bright sunny day, the air is dry. Now, in summer, the air is warm. You all know in summer the air is warm, and in winter the air is cold. In the rainy season, the air contains a lot of water vapor. On a bright sunny day, the air is dry. Now, the next topic is air pressure. The atmosphere is pressing on us all the time. We do not feel the air pressure on us because we are used to it. The way air presses down on all things is called air pressure. As we all know, the atmosphere is covered with a layer of air, so this air is also pressing everything on earth. There is a pressure of air on all humans, animals and plants, but as we are used to of this pressure, so we can't feel this air pressure. Experiment is: weigh an empty balloon. Now fill the balloon with air and weigh it again. You will see that the balloon with air in its weight is more than the empty balloon. This shows that air has weight. There is an experiment that air also has weight and it exerts pressure. For this there is an experiment that first you weigh an empty balloon, then fill the balloon with air and weight it again. You will see that the balloon with air in its weight weighs more than the empty balloon. Then you will see that its weight will increase. This shows that air has weight. Next, there is also an experiment I have given you in your booklet that we can prove with this experiment that air exerts pressure. That you see that in this picture, first we have put a cane on a stand having a spirit lamp, and now this cane is in its proper shape. When we remove the heat and put some cold water on it, it will cool down. When we put some cold water on the cane, it will cool down and it will change its shape, because now there is pressure of air on it, because in the atmosphere there is air, and now air has increased its pressure, and due to this pressure its shape has changed. Next topic is air pressure and weather. The air pressure changes from day to day. Changes in air pressure affect the weather. On a hot day, the layer of air near the ground becomes warm. Warm air is lighter than cold air, so it begins to rise. Cold air, which is heavier than warm air, comes to take its place. Cold air pushes the warm air out of the way. This happens all the time. This moving air is called wind. A light wind is called a breeze. A strong wind is called a gale. The strongest wind is called a hurricane. Now, air pressure changes from day to day. As we know that changes in air pressure affect the weather. On a hot day, the layer of air near the ground becomes warm because due to the heat of the sun, when the heat falls on the on the earth, the layer of air which is near the ground becomes hot, and the layer of air near the ground also becomes warm. Warm air is lighter than cold air, and we can prove this by an experiment. When you heat the water and it starts boiling and vapors come out from the water, the vapors go straight upward. They don't spread, but they go upward. This is the reason that we can say that hot air is lighter than cold air. Cold air, which is heavier than warm air, comes to take its place. Hot air goes upward and cold air comes because it is heavier, so it comes to take the place of the hot air. Cold air pushes the warm air out of the way. This happens all the time. This moving air is called wind. This moving air is called a wind. A light wind is called a breeze. A strong wind is called a gale. The strongest wind is called a hurricane. Now, how do pressure system affect weather? There is an experiment. In a high pressure system, air sinks slowly down, brings clear skies and calm air or gentle breeze. In a low pressure system, air rises. As the air rises, it cools, condenses and forms clouds, brings stormy weather. In a high pressure system, air sinks slowly down. When the pressure is high, air sinks down, so it brings clear skies and calm air or very gentle breeze. But in a low pressure system, air rises. As I told you that when the pressure is less, high air goes upward. As the air rises, it cools. When it goes upward and it goes somewhere high, it cools down, it condenses and forms, this condensed air forms clouds. So these clouds bring stormy weather. Remember, winds always blow from a high pressure to a low pressure, and wind always blow from a high pressure to a low pressure. Then the next topic in your booklet is there are different instruments to measure air pressure, speed of the wind and to show the direction of the wind. First, I have given you the barometer. So this is an instrument with which we can measure the changes in air pressure. This instrument is called barometer, and you can see the picture in this slide and in your booklet too. In your book also, in unit air, these instruments are given. So this is the instrument with the help of which we can measure the changes in air pressure. Those changes which are brought due to air pressure, we can measure those changes with the help of this instrument called barometer. The next is anemometer. An instrument used to measure the speed of the wind is called an anemometer. This is an instrument with the help of which we can measure the speed of the wind, or you can say we can measure that with which speed the wind is blowing. So this instrument helps to measure the speed of the wind. Next is wind vane, and here is a picture of wind vane. A wind vane tells us the direction of the wind. Now this is an instrument which tells us the direction of the wind, that in which direction the wind is blowing, whether it is from north to south or it is from west to east. So this instrument tells us about the direction of the wind, or tells us the direction of the wind.